Attention! The movie guys love movies. Any comments made about the breaking news that Selena Gomez and Justin Bieber have been cast as the children of Han and Leia Solo in the upcoming Star Wars sequel are purely to set up an April Fool's joke. Isn't that right? April Fool!
Should have said spoiler alert. That clip is from the end of April Fool's Day, the movie. So that's how it ends.
But after Jar Jar Binks, this could have been real. All bets are off now, right?
NSYNC was in one of them, right? They were all dressed up like in prosthetics, but they were in one of the...
they were all stormtroopers?
The last three. They were the crazy monster things.
Because that's the claim I'm making. I've been in all the Star Wars movies. Stormtrooper number 4.
I'm a crazy
Why not
monster.
you?
Exactly.
Clone 5.
Prove it. Prove me wrong.
Hey, welcome to the Movie Showcast, everybody, part of the vast and sprawling Movie Guys empire. And don't forget to fasten your condoms. Seatbelts. You've reached ground zero for all things movies and comedy. We bring the two together right here on our show every week with jokes, rants, sketches, characters, bits, special guests, and more as we broadcast from the Admiral's Club with thousands of happy travelers passing overhead. They don't stop making movies, so we don't stop making comedy shows about movies, which means you can get a new show every week on iTunes, SoundCloud, YouTube, and, of course, themovieguys.net. Absolutely free. And we encourage you to subscribe, and if you do, still no charge. Basically, search The Movie Guys anywhere you like on the internets, and we come right up. We're also on one of the fastest-growing internet radio stations out there, WBAD.net, where you can hear our show Fridays at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific, and catch our movie reviews and articles on WBAD's website. Your hosts for the hardest-working podcast on the airwaves include myself, Paul Preston, here with Lee Caius. Karen Volpe, and Adam Witt has conveniently timed his return to the show with the opening of a superhero movie. Later in the show, we will be joined by movie guy Stephen Lewis to discuss...
the greatest movies of all time.
But first, don't go into the movies unprepared. We are your best source for previewing everything new that's opening, and this week is no different as we give a thorough once-over to, not another superhero movie.
Oh, really, Paul? I'm just not a fan of those spoof movies. They're just...
No, really, this is actually another superhero movie.
Oh, well, in that case, sweet.
All right, here's a clip.
Where'd you get your guinea pig?
Happens to be the best damn candidate out of 600 volunteers.
A secret experiment gave one man the strength of 100.
The rest of the world, he's just codenamed Captain America.
And the power to save.
This might be the 1990 Captain America with Matt Salinger.
With Matt Salinger.
Target somewhere in the United States. Only he could defeat a superhuman madman.
That's fantastic.
Called the Red Skull.
With Ned, when you hear this guy say Ned Beatty. Ned Beatty. Here, does he do the cast?
That's all I got for you.
Can I retract my
Ronnie
sweet?
Cox.
I'd like to take back my
That
sweet.
horrible Captain America movie had Ronnie Cox and Ned Beatty. Yeah.
That was all you got that year. That's the only superhero movie you got
And
that
Matt
year.
Salinger.
You had to enjoy that one.
Wait, here's the actual clip.
Most of the intelligence community doesn't believe he exists. The ones that do call him the Winter Soldier.
Captain America's got one of those apps.
He's a ghost.
Gives him his dayminder.
You'll never find him.
Actually, that's the very beginning of the trailer and the very end stitched together because it has one of those trailers over. Da 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 da. An extra bit of business at the end. I wanted you to enjoy.
Sounded like the dance floor is now open for a moment there.
Yeah.
Pretty electronic, that Captain America movie.
It's cool. A little Tron on it.
Yeah.
It's got a little Tron feel. A little Daft Punk, you know?
Daft Punk, that was a great score for
amazing
Tron.
score.
What the hell is it called? Gravity? I want to say Tron
movie.
Gravity.
How great is it?
What is it called?
Tron Legacy.
Thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
In that
Gravity.
same year, Hannah, the film Hannah, had a score by the Chemical Brothers. And now suddenly
Yeah.
these guys doing those type of scores were great.
Yeah.
I'd like to hear more of that.
I don't know who's doing the Captain America score, though.
Yeah. Or, well, the trailer, you never know. Anyway.
Oh, that's true.
Hey, we're going to the Phoenix Film Fest later this week. So
Indeed.
please check out youtube.com/TheMovieGuysLive. And you can check, or just go to themovieguys.net and you can see all our videos there. If you're headed out to the fest, get yourself informed about what's going on. Follow at Phoenix Film Fest and at The Movie Guys for news and craziness going on there. Plus, once we get there, we'll be making more videos and doing more updates to the website. Tell you all the cool films that are coming out. A lot of stuff coming there that's played at Sundance, South by Southwest, Berlin Film Festival. So big movies are playing there, and we'll tell you all about them. We'll see them in advance, and we'll tell you. So if you want to see them in advance, just go there. go check it out. I mean, if you're in LA, what is it, like 5-6 hours? Boom, you're there. And it's nice weather driving, too. So now, we only have one big-time release coming out this week. And even though it's still snowing in Minnesota, Disney and Marvel are proclaiming it's summer with the release of... hang on one sec.
Huh?
Adam.
Is that me?
Oh, it's for you. Yeah, go ahead.
I have mine on vibrate. So.
Hello?
You should.
Hello? Oh, hey, me in 1996. It's you, Adam, in 2014. Oh, not bad. I still know Stephen Bart with Lee. Yeah. Well, anyway. Hey, I just wanted to let you know that you're going to see the Falcon in a movie. Yes, I know that's insane, but you actually might want to sit down because when I tell you that he's in the third Captain America movie. Okay, anyway, nice chat. Go watch Batman Forever. Have a good time. Bye.
Adam, I imagine you will want to talk about Captain America.
I think I could go for
The
that.
Winter
Maybe
Soldier.
That
Was that a
why
collect
I
call?
called.
Here we go.
When Captain
hear
America throws
the other
his
side of it.
mighty shield, all those who chose to oppose his shield must yield.
Yeah. Captain America is back to fight for American freedom by stopping the evil forces, helping people get affordable health care in Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
When last we left Captain America, he had been frozen in World War II and unfrozen in modern times, where he develops the super ability of having no problem taking orders from a black guy.
Although we are concerned he might be toyed with by others who know he's not from our era.
Hey, Rogers, have you learned to twerk yet?
To twerk?
Yeah, Captain's orders. Every soldier's required to master twerking by noon tomorrow.
Okay. Well, this isn't one of those pranks like the Macarena thing, is it?
No, not a prank. The captain really wants you to demonstrate it in front of the whole squad.
Yeah, this one's for real, man.
Okay.
Is it based on a book?
Comic book. Hey, that counts. It's a movie.
Unlike Iron Man and Thor, Captain America doesn't go back to a career or another dimension. He remains a super soldier employed by the government. The good captain finds himself in a battle with S.H.I.E.L.D. when he uncovers a violation of our liberties by the intelligence agency. I guess you'd have to be a 90-year-old man to be surprised by a massive overreach by an intelligence agency.
Captain America's villain in this movie is already famous enough to demand name and title. He is the Winter Soldier, a super soldier who's the physical better of Captain America in every way. He even has an arm made of metal. Here's a clip.
Gentlemen, we can rebuild him. We have the technology. He's fast. Strong. Had a metal arm.
Actual clip, yeah.
Who is he? Who is he? We'd say, but the actor didn't get famous enough after the first Captain America movie, so it kind of remains a spoiler.
This may not be the time of year people in Buffalo or Chicago want to hear about a winter anything, but the spring soldier didn't test well.
And maybe Captain America is just the person we need to keep the winter at bay.
Captain America: The Winter Soldier is a sequel to Captain America: The First Avenger, yet it's in the same vein as Thor: The Dark World and other Marvel sequels, with the hero's name, a colon, and the word "the" in the title. Next up, Hulk, the water cooler, and why it's smashed.
Watching Marvel make superhero movies is such a joy. Nobody else has any idea how to make them. I'm sure there's Chris Nolan and whatever Man of Steel is, but they're isolated and unconnected. You know, I think Marvel is actually somehow putting actual comic books on the big screen.
Promotions for this movie are showing us so many new Marvel Comics characters. They could spend the entire film introducing them and their trading cards. This movie is going to Wait, is it directed by Schumacher?
No.
Okay, I'll go.
And everybody who thinks they make too many superhero movies nowadays, I just want to say they're not taking the money that was going to be used to make an important movie anyway. If anything, you should thank movies like Captain America for taking money out of the coffers that may have made a new Big Mama's house. He's here to save the day by being a movie.
There you go. That's Captain America: The Winter Soldier. This week's big movie.
Well, I get excited.
From what I understand, this it's an Avengers movie, right?
Yeah.
So it's lacking a lot of Hulk, but it has just enough Scarlett Johansson that I'm going to go see it.
Yeah.
I have now decided that if there's no Hulk, I'm not going.
Oh yeah?
That's my limit.
You dug on Hulk that much?
Oh man, when he revealed the true dynamic of his personality at the end of the Avengers?
That's a great moment. That's a great moment.
The whole world opened up for me.
Yeah, it took 3 guys to get the Hulk just right, but he was the Ruffalo's great casting.
See, he's angry all the time.
Yeah.
He's pretending
He's
to
working
be. Oh my God.
to be normal.
That's the control he has over it. That makes him an actual superhero.
I can relate to that.
That he's like that. He's,
Grandpa Caius understands what it's like to be
what
angry
Grandpa
all
Caius think of Hawkeye?
Oh, it's
It's nonsense, you kids.
that's nonsense.
It's Brave in New York City. It's the Hunger Games.
Brave in New York City. Get out of here. Leave me alone.
We played a little mashup there of Steve Austin, the $6 Million Man.
Yeah.
What would it cost now to make a man like him? $6 million's not like big deal anymore, right?
$6 million?
Be like
I think my back surgery cost $6 million. Like
exactly.
The
Not out of
insurance
pocket,
is so
thank
weird.
God.
Yeah, no, not out of pocket.
And didn't the sound effects from $6 Million Man kind of sound like all the sound effects that we're hearing now?
Yeah.
Oh, you think we could speed all those up and make us a Transformers trailer?
Exactly.
Yeah, those are just trailer sounds.
That's where they got it.
Yeah.
Everything that's
And the
old is new
slowdown.
again.
All these noisy trailers.
But his big superpower is a metal arm. That's it, right? Runs fast.
No, he's all super fast and stuff.
I looked
like
at Karen
Captain
as if
America,
I'm expecting Karen
too.
to
Oh, that's
answer
funny. She
We
did
didn't get
do
that channel.
these questions about Captain America.
Really funny to turn to the left instead of the right. To ask Karen instead of me about the Winter Soldier's bionic arm.
Karen, you have your ticket, right? Already?
Yes, I'm so excited.
Karen, you're excited. Admit it, you're excited.
Can't wait, not at all.
I told-
However, Paul and I did something last year that was kind of neat that had to do with being a SHIELD agent. We were cast, it was a SAG gig, it was kind of cool. We were cast as part of this promotion on a website for a car company. And in order for people to get through these different levels and become a SHIELD agent,
I remember
they
this.
needed to go and interrogate us. And we would answer questions, but we, being actors and being not people that were being interrogated, which I thought was a very strange dynamic, had to lie, and they had to determine when we were lying. Of course, we were lying the whole time, which makes it, you know what I'm saying?
What did they make you say? Don't torture me anymore?
Like, yeah.
Which one of these lines that you've given me is not true?
It's not true. Stuff like, one of my favorite one is,
Now act like you're not this.
right? One of my favorite was, I don't know Tony Stark. I only work for Stark Industries. That was true.
That's a true.
I don't know Jane. What's her face? Natalie Portman. Whatever character.
Whatever it was really kind of cool though, because we would, all these people who are going to go see these movies would go and have to determine if we were lying.
I would like to mention though.
Yep.
That was Acura. Wasn't it an Acura?
That was Acura.
Because we are looking for an automotive sponsor, Acura.
That's Acura if you're out there. And I think you are.
Sorry, I'm joking to death. Sorry about that.
We know you're listening.
Hang on a sec. It's a producer from 2001. Oh, he's wondering why we're using the guy from Not Another Teen Movie as Captain America.
Producer from 2001.
Producer from 2001.
I want to know why you're using the ringtone from Big Lebowski. That's the dude's phone.
Phone's ringing, dude.
Hey, okay, get off the line. Now he wants to know why we're not using Treat Williams.
Why
as
is
the
Treat
bad
Williams not in the movie?
Powers Booth?
Now, I was saying earlier.
He is, isn't he?
Powers Booth? Easily confused with Treat Williams?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
By name only, though.
Powers Booth. No, I always get Powers Booth and Stacy Keach confused.
Oh,
Many moons ago.
you know I'm thinking of Stacy Keach, and I said Powers Booth.
Is that right?
Yes,
There
because
you go.
Powers Booth was in Deadwood.
Powers Booth.
I think so.
Yes, but he's also in a movie
Not
right
a TV
now.
guy.
He's in a movie right now.
Powers Booth is
He's
not
in
a
Nebraska
name.
right now.
It's a,
No, wait.
That's
Stacy
Stacey
Keach
Keach.
is in Nebraska right now. Powers Booth was in The Avengers.
Hey, you know who's in this movie?
Wait, huh?
Whatever we're talking about.
Robert Redford.
Friend of the show, Tom Berenger.
Tom Berenger?
In this?
Isn't he? Or is
I
that
don't know.
Redford? Did I?
That's Redford.
Damn. No, I saw a cut. I swear I heard his voice.
You know what's
Tom
interesting?
Berenger
is
should be in a
I don't have
superhero
anything
movie,
to
though, I
offer
will
this
say.
conversation, so I've been quiet. And neither does Lee, but he's been talking. So I think it's
a different
fantastic.
Just about to say it hasn't,
tactic between the two.
hasn't stopped
Those
me.
who have gotten to know the
He's just
the
coming up
rapport.
with names and saying stuff. I'm just waiting until I hear a word I understand.
He's gonna make it back to the Cleveland Indians team that almost went to the World Series when he was a kid.
Is he in there?
In the Avengers?
Yes.
Yeah.
Who? Tom Berenger.
Tom Berenger's not.
No.
See
But
what I'm
Powers-
saying?
Tom Berenger was in Inception.
And Powers Booth is going to be in Sin City.
That's where I saw it. But Berenger is not in this Winter
Quick,
Soldier.
to the Powers booth.
Powers Booth. Yeah. Oh, I'm mistaking him for a movie that comes out 6 months from now.
I just want to feel like I'm part
Who
of
was
the
in the
show.
Emerald Forest? Let's get down to business.
Tom Cruise.
Oh, that was
Powers
Dorothy.
Booth.
It was
Oh, Powers
Dorothy. Oh.
such a memorable actor. Quick to the Powers
Great
booth.
voice.
I'm going to write a story about the Powers booth now. And you go in it and you get certain powers, right? Karen, you don't have to be a fan of Captain America Winter Soldier to recognize that premise.
That is fantastic.
Okay.
That's right. You confess your sins. It's like being religious.
It's a Catholic.
It's a Catholic
movie.
booth.
Are we to the point where... Oh, there you go. There's a good line.
How do we know the good guys from the bad guys? If they're shooting at you, they're bad.
There you go.
So yeah, so that's the whole shield gets twisted under, and they turn bad. They turn heel.
They turn 24.
To use
That always
wrestling
happened on 24.
terms.
I can respect that.
And what does SHIELD stand for?
Strategic Homeland International Espionage Logistics
Division.
Division, something like that.
I think.
Okay. I didn't know.
Did I almost answer
we're
that
right.
shit or what? I'm interested in this movie.
Oh, you think?
I started watching superhero movies last weekend, but I start with bad ones. So I start now my weekly festival of watching superhero movies with Batman and Robin every time. Joel Schumacher's Batman and Robin.
That's you can only go up from there. But you didn't watch Phantom, right? We determined that.
No, I have not watched Phantom.
All right, good. And please don't.
No?
Yeah.
Not at all?
But I know you're excited, so let me give you the floor for a second, because Adam mentioned that Marvel has seemingly put a comic book on screen with this. Now, that's the result of all their films being interactive with one another and the compelling storylines connecting. There's love, romance, adventure, scandal, peril, and redemption. Now, if that doesn't describe the WWE to a T, then I think these Marvel films could easily be referred to as one big, giant soap opera for boys.
Oh, no, come on. Captain America's hardly a soap opera. It's about a nerdy boy named Steve Rogers, and he was bullied when he was a kid. And he found the strength to be a man through a secret government experiment. But who is never able to return to his sweetheart because he died in the war. But he didn't die in the war. He's alive. And now, the people he thought were his friends are hatching a plot to destroy the country he's pledged his life to. The mysterious bad guys injure his friend Nick Fury and turn a friend from his past into his enemy, all while sending a legion of battleships to threaten everybody in the country.
This one's going on, isn't it?
Well, that's a lot to think about, all that you just said.
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to digest it all.
Digest that.
It is a legion of battleships.
What will happen next? Who knows? But it's just another chapter in the adventure-filled saga of Captain America.
Tonight, after Little Women, a young girl's death compels Quincy to expose an alcoholic surgeon. Then don't miss the dramatic conclusion of Women in White. Sunday, see the special one-night presentation of The Sound of Music. Stay tuned now for The Doctors, next on NBC.
You know,
Afternoons, a time to share love. Sunshine, I don't want you as my roommate. I want you as my wife. Feelings.
Can't you possibly understand what rape means to a woman?
Secrets.
If Mac doesn't trust me, our marriage is meaningless.
Afternoons at a new time starting March 5th on NBC.
Friday, Zipper's dad pays a visit.
I'm here to talk about your grades.
On Brothers and Sisters. Then, how would you feel if you had a chance to win $1 million?
Just this one time. Let me win the big one.
I think maybe I'll go around the world.
Who will win on Sweepstakes? Right after Brothers and Sisters, Friday, starting at 9, 8 Central on NBC.
Oh.
There you go. That's something Thor.
And we're back.
During one of those organ riffs, I thought a ball game was going to break out. Start chanting defense or let's go Padres.
Well, that was indulgent.
It was. I enjoyed listening to that.
You know, I found that to be more compelling. I was starting to feel bad for Nick Fury.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he gets beat up in this one, from what I can tell in the trailer.
Yeah, it looks that way.
And there is a total soap opera move where you think he's dead and he's not.
Right?
He just has to do that 2 or 3 more times, and that's all my children.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right, well, with Captain America, the one mainstream release in theaters this week, no one wanted to open opposite, as you can imagine.
No.
But that's left
No
room in
competition.
theaters and here on our show for indie films. I think we can preview all the new indies in one fell swoop. So let's do another round of something we used to do back at the old Second City Live show and launch another edition of the Indie Roundup.
Comes the mailbag.
Pass it on over,
Karen's
little
handing out a mailbag full of scrolls from Big City.
Yeehaw!
All right. Howdy, folk. Y'all might not take to knowing it, but there's a whole barrel full of thee-ay-ters films that might not make it out to the remote ranches and reach the eyeballs of the good prairie folk. Which is why we break open the mailbag and find out what movies y'all can look forward to renting on the DVD and Blu-ray.
Multiple format.
Fancy.
For example, I'm getting a parchment paper here full of all kind of wordifying about what they're doing up in Hollywood.
Well,
Like there was a feller from across the pond goes by the name of Steve Coogan.
Ooh,
way over
sounds
yonder.
furrin'.
He was just Academy Award nominated for that Philomena movie about that old lady what lost her son to a pack of nuns.
Philomena movie.
They'll do that.
Turns out in Ingai land, he done made some hay with a comedy character named Alan Partridge.
Ooh.
Now he's like a Ron Burgundy for those tea-sipping types, always making with the tomfoolery on a television screen. But there's a whole movie's worth of Alan Partridge of the same name coming out. And I'm just about as happy as a horse that done had the privilege of hauling around John Wayne's ass in a movie. Partridge is on a downward spiral, you see, going from the TV to radio to getting himself caught up in a hostage situation with Cole Meany, whose name is Britisher than a scone on top of a double-decker bus going across the London Bridge. No doubt hilarity will ensue, as will accents, but not Oscar nominations. I give the trailer 4 stars of Downton Abbey. There you go.
Well, next up, now there's this here movie about a special kind of varmint.
Oh, yeah.
Not the eating kind.
No.
Not even the skinning and wearing for hats kind. No, these here's critters are a very particular kind of polecat what lives in a tree.
What the?
What?
Now, before you grab a fistful of buckshot and set out to figuring whether they taste like chicken or not, let me tell you that there is only one place in the whole world wide that these here would-be trading pelts can be found. That's all right. They've been done given their own special island to romp around on, kind of like the gays in Manhattan.
What the hell you say?
Sure.
It's a place called Madagascar.
Madagascar.
Now, my uncle had a Madagascar. Every time he had to put gas in his car, he'd drive around all mad. Nah, just funning with you. Now, if you're looking for one of those kind of talking pictures where the people, actually talk, Island of the Lemurs, Madagascar, ain't it? Instead of a lot of conversating with one another, this here picture is one of those high-concept movies where the people just kind of wander around doing stuff, all the while that one guy what tells you all about what you're seeing on the screen.
Yep.
And he has that voice that you hear in every one of these kinds of movies, so rest assured you know he knows what he's talking about.
Yep.
Now you see here, this guy with the voice
was swept out to sea.
You know, he could narrate my life, and it would sound a lot more exciting.
He should narrate my bit, because it'd be
That's
hilarious.
what I'm saying.
This guy with the voice and a camera crew follow around these here monkeys around, documenting their antics and whatnot as they jump and romp and skip and throw their feces on one another.
I love antics.
Now, there's a shortage of lemur meat, which is why you can't hunt them no more.
Damn.
And this here movie sets out to tug at the heartstrings of the people who can't do a damn thing about their demise except maybe spend $14 on a movie about them.
Tastes like chicken.
That sounds harder than fuel with a paintbrush in its mouth. Well, next up, if my paper here is to be believed, is we got ourselves something called Under the Skin. It's here pictures. It's going to creep you out quicker than a whiskey shot and bunion removing contest on dollar shot night during knife show weekend.
Been there.
In this here flicker show, an illegal alien comes to America, but just when you think he was just reading a paper, turns out this here alien's from another planet.
Ooh, them kind of aliens. Them's the worst.
And it ain't here to pick lettuce. Nope. It's here to get with some amorous Congress with the menfolk, because it looks like Scarlett Johnston.
Oh, I like her.
She pretty.
I liked her in Vengers.
They did some venturing. I can reckon with some venturing. This here film type movie then goes on to tell Holler why we got to be careful when we letting our Mars folk into this country. Not only will it take our job, but apparently they'll fuck our retards.
What?
Well, because this
Well,
here
that plot took a U-turn.
Oh
didn't it?
yeah, no. This here lobster kettle goes about making faces to every man she meets, including this real messed up
I
fella.
wasn't gonna see this movie, but now I'm gonna see this movie.
This movie's about
But this ain't no normal movie you go see
Retard
and whatnot.
sex.
This one here's all French. Because in between all that, it's got more strange pictures and poses and faces than a Twister game falling down the Briar Hill.
Ooh, that's a lot.
Or at least, that's what the word around the campfire is on this one.
That sounds real good. Real
Artsy
nice.
movie.
Yeah.
Mostly fartsy.
Awful French. Awful French.
Well, that was real exciting. Lastly, word from the outpost up yonder be telling about another film that is going to be coming out. It's kind of a tiny size release, but it stars none other than the old Doc Watson himself, Jude Law.
Oh, he's
Now,
hunky.
Jude Law.
normally there ain't no room for the law out in these parts, but I'm looking forward to seeing him and Don Hemingway.
Ooh, I like what you did there.
He done finds himself acting up on motion picture screen as a safe cracker who refuses to go stoolie pigeon on his cohorts and does a dozen years in prison. Well, that's longer than by the time it takes to scrape cow shit off of someone's horse's hooves.
That's true.
Then he reunites with his daughter and tries making up for lost time, only to be dragged back into the criminal life like a drunk being pulled back into bed by a broke prostitute.
Eat it.
Jude Law sporting more facial hair than a Montana whore. And uses so many curse words, the town preacher just hung himself by the ears.
Oh, I like that guy. Too much
Yeah.
shame.
Too bad.
This here cavorting crime story is from the director of Matador. So if you like talking in Spanish pictures, then this one's probably for you.
Ooh, I gotta see that.
Yeah, Reba.
All right, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Right there. Good Lord. That there is what we call the Indie Roundup, all right? We're going to take a few 10 seconds break, something like that, and let you ponder on them there highfalutin movies that don't get big release. And we'll be right back with the Right and Honorable Sheriff Stephen Lewis.
Law coming to town.
And we are back, joined by a true movie guy and frequent contributor to themovieguys.net, Stephen Lewis is with us, everybody.
Welcome aboard. Ex-movie guy. Well, part-time movie guy.
I have a question about that music, though.
Yeah! I'm still excited.
Woo! Was that Jerry Reed's greatest hits? Is that what we were listening to?
Was that Jerry Reed's greatest hit?
Greatest hit?
No. No. That was, I don't know what that was. It was weird, but not really what I would have introduced you to. It's
Eastbound
held over from the
down.
previous bit.
I understand.
Or there would have been some Paul
I get
McCartney song, now that I know he's your favorite.
Well, yeah.
Of all time.
That's a whole other topic.
Well, Stephen is here to help us tackle lists. We could go on about the greatest musicians of all time. We all make lists. They're all over the damn internet. We're just going to scratch the surface on some of the great movie lists today, but we're going to get into it with Steve and his movie list of the best films of all time. But first, the question we ask every guest, and we'll lead into our segment with you, Steve. What is your favorite movie of all time?
What is my favorite movie of all time? Well, it oscillates between The Godfather and It's a Wonderful Life.
You know, when they repeat the
Depending
question, it's a
on-
lie.
Depending on...
Or they're on a reality show.
Or they're on a
right.
reality show and
Oh,
they were
okay.
told to.
Depending on how I feel. But they're both about the family.
We just
so,
got
you know,
A Wonderful Life last week.
Really?
Yeah.
From whom?
Our wonderful
Corbett
guests.
and
It was a Corbett or Grace. It was one of
Grace.
the
I
two
can't remember which
that were
one
here.
it was.
I think
Have you ever gotten it tied with The Godfather before? I think that's where I have my own personal ground staked out.
I think we've gotten The Godfather before, haven't we? Yeah.
Vastly
That's
different.
a great movie.
Yes.
Vastly different. So
Yeah.
it really does depend on your mood, doesn't it?
Yeah, it
They're
does.
both heads of families.
Yeah,
Patriotic.
they're family movies.
Getting
They're
there.
both, perfect for the holidays.
Would you watch then, right now, another Coppola movie or another Capra movie?
Right now?
Yeah, right now. Or on any given day.
That's
Or
an
any
odd
given
question.
Sunday.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
we're
know.
going into we're going on.
So it's like do I
Top
follow
10 Capra
both
movies,
those
go.
guys down their respective rabbit holes of their careers?
Would you rather watch Jack or a bad Capra movie?
You have to understand. In
Titles
my
are coming.
universe, Coppola did not direct Jack.
Exactly.
I had to
Just
give that to
erase
someone
that.
else.
I
I
live
just
in that same
remember
world.
I remember when
Who made that movie then?
Chris Columbus.
Exactly.
I remember actually coming out of
He
a
knows.
theater and seeing the poster for Jack, seeing Robin Williams on there, and I was like, oh, it looks like another weird Patch Adams-y Robin Williams movie or whatever. I see Coppola's name, and I just froze. I was like, no, that can't
not
be.
happening.
This can't happen. I must do something about this. So
it became a Chris Columbus film.
It became a Chris Columbus film.
Who made?
Everywhere with a magic marker.
Exactly.
Did Francis Ford Coppola make The Rainmaker?
Yeah.
Okay.
He did.
It's
okay.
He did. Yeah, it's okay.
You can't take everything away, but there are just certain
I know,
films
that's
that
true.
certain people can't.
Yeah.
Just like Tim Burton directed From Hell. But, that's another thing.
But you're not wrong. It doesn't matter who directed From Hell, right?
Not really.
It can be Tim Burton.
I'd rather much talk about it as a Tim Burton film than a Hughes Brothers film. It just makes a whole lot more sense.
Yeah, I've got no stake in the Hughes brothers having directed that movie. I know it really happened, right?
Exactly.
But other than that,
But why confine your movie discussions to reality? I mean, movies are the fantasy realm.
They are the creators of dreams, and we can live in that dream
Exactly.
world, even when it
So-
comes to the credits.
Yeah. I just like to. I like to take my. So I guess that shows you the regard I have for Coppola. I just there are certain films I just don't want on his resume. The guy who directed Godfather should not have also directed Jack. It just shouldn't be true.
what do you like about The Godfather? A lot of people like The Godfather. I always wonder what it is because some people gravitate artistically to that because there's a lot of artistry to that. Some people gravitate because that's the sort of 70s film vibe, and then it's just a good movie, of course, too. But
It just pulls you in from like the very first moment. I mean, it's one of those movies that just. The very first shot, you're in there. To me, it's also it's they talk about it as a mob movie, but it's so much about it. Literally, is about the family and what it means to be a part
That's
of
a
a
euphemism
family.
for the mob, Steve. Family.
Yes.
wait a second. Be funny.
You're making me.
The Godfather.
First
20
time
times.
Steve ever thought of it. Wait, what?
They're in the what? That'd be so funny.
But you realize they are actually related in that movie too.
Oh, yes.
They're brothers, and there's a mother
Let's
and a
play
father.
that out. Wait a
At
second.
gunpoint.
I think I might have blown your mind a little bit too.
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
All right, so Steve, we have.
No wonder the other people were so amenable to the request.
Did I ever
They were
go
in
around the
mob.
room? Did I ever go around
About what?
my favorite film of all time, Raiders of the Lost Ark? Can we do this in like one of the first shows ever? I forget. Ghostbusters, right?
Yeah.
No question. Lee, Few Good Men.
Few Good Men.
Adam.
Blues Brothers 2000.
That's the movie he takes
That was
away.
the other one. That was the
That's
other
movie
one.
he takes away.
That is the
Ouch.
point at which I scoop out the cancerous mole of the universe and actually say something didn't happen. That's really funny. Geez, my favorite movie now. I guess it's Raiders. I guess it's Star
thought you
Wars and
oscillate
Raiders.
between
But
Star
really,
Wars
it's
and
like-
Raiders, right?
Yeah, Star Wars and Raiders is what I bounce back and forth between. I'm probably a Star Wars right now. I haven't been Raiders for a couple years actually. I kind of obsessed on Star Wars a lot more recently. Yes. In fact, when
There's
we go
been
to
a lot more to obsess about it with lately.
Yeah. So Star Wars right now.
I will say Jack Reacher's gaining ground.
Ah, that's
I've
a good
watched
movie.
that,
Like of all time.
I like that movie. You know what's Gaining Ground? Avengers
It's
for
fun.
me.
Hey.
Again,
It is
I've based my favorite movie of all time on watchability, on the ability to just
can
put
watch
it in and
Jack
watch
Reacher
it,
over and over?
which made me think of it when you mentioned The Godfather and or It's a Wonderful Life. For me, I like It's a Wonderful Life better than Godfather, but I can't watch It's a Wonderful Life except for at Christmas. I can't just pop that in at any time and watch it.
I did it one time. It was an experiment. I did it in July. It was actually right after Jimmy Stewart died.
Oh,
and I was
okay.
like, I've never tried this. Does this movie still play? It still plays.
It plays.
It's that great.
For
It's
me,
that
I
great.
just couldn't. I don't think I could swallow it.
I know it's a good movie because I have it on my list of movies to watch, and I can't find it for free anywhere on Netflix or anything. So when it's time for me to watch my list of movies to watch, I sit down in front of the TV, and none of them are available. And if they are, then it's me making a mistake and watching the wrong movie, and then it's Demi Moore. So I know it's a good movie if I can't find it anywhere.
That's It's a Wonderful
If
Life.
it's not free.
I've never seen it.
Note to listeners, there are two movies out
never
there
seen it,
named
really?
Flawless.
Don't see the one I watched. The one that's available to be watched is the bad one.
The other one
That
stars
is
De Niro and
great.
Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yeah.
Wait, what's the one that doesn't?
Michael
Demi
Caine
Moore.
and Demi Moore.
Really? Never
It's
heard
about
of it.
jewel
Is that like
thieves.
Blame It on Rio era?
Horrible.
By any chance?
Wow, Michael
Later, I
Caine
think.
and Demi
Oh, okay.
Moore. They were in Blame It to
Yeah, I know.
Reunion.
Yeah,
Yes.
reunited for Flawless.
There's
was
also
gorgeous
two
in Blame It
movies
on
named
Rio.
Fair Game. You know that? The one about Valerie Plame
And then
Cindy
the
Crawford.
Cindy
Oh,
Crawford
yeah.
and William Baldwin one. Yeah.
I bet you
William
the Cindy
Baldwin.
Crawford
And
one
yet-
is free.
And yet that Butler movie has to put a name in the title because there was a silent film called The Butler.
Like in
It's such a
1913 or
weird
so, yeah.
That's
rule.
not just Lee Daniels loving himself to death?
No.
Really?
That's a legal thing.
Wow.
How did
Yeah.
we know that? Jamie.
Thank you.
Jamie
Off
chimed
camera
in on
presence.
that, gave us the news. Otherwise,
Clue,
because we
by the way. Thanks for asking.
It's what?
Jamie's is Clue.
Oh.
Oh, Clue.
I
That's right.
was able to watch
Nice.
that movie, and it was a good
That's
movie.
a great
That's
year for
one of the
comedies,
only
it turns
ones.
out. because we do the comedy lists coming
Interestingly,
up. That's
Clue came out in '85. 10 years later, Clueless.
Exactly 10.
Exactly
That's movie
10.
metrics.
5 years after that?
Steve Lewis's movie
I
metrics.
think you need to explain Steve's superpower because not everybody knows.
5 years after that,
yeah.
Clue 2000.
Clue 2000.
I don't know.
Brought the whole
Steve's
crew back
superpower
together.
didn't-
Paul, could you explain Steve's superpower?
Steve does have an uncanny
you almost
ability.
said
I almost said
stupid
superpower.
power.
Stupid
You almost said
power.
stupid power.
He has an uncanny
I
ability
meant
to
superpower.
nail the date a movie came out in the theaters. Now, do you get specific to the date or just like the month and year?
The year. I
The year, okay.
I can't
So let's
name
not
you the
get
month.
crazy. Yeah, that's life.
Although, for some weird reason, I always know when Lee's birthday is because it's December 6th, and I know that Spies Like Us came out on December 6th of 1985.
That's awesome.
So he knows someday.
But
I always can text him, happy birthday, happy Spies Like Us anniversary.
What year did Quick Change come out?
1990.
Tootsie.
That one I knew.
1982.
But I learned some stuff because
Wait a minute, Quick Change was 1990?
Yes,
Yeah.
it was. Look, it's probably on the
What
poster
about
right
the
there.
Bill Murray
Oh, there.
elephant movie?
The big-
Larger than life.
the one
Larger
that
than
did-
life.
1996.
is that right?
Yeah.
I'll take your word for it.
We should
we
do
don't
a-
know if he's wrong.
Someone should open up
Peggy
IMDb.
Sue got
Open
married.
IMDb on.
Jamie's checking this stuff
We
out.
can do
That's
a
what she
bit
does.
called, is that right?
Is
What
that
did I
right?
say, Adam?
Peggy Sue got married.
1986. Thank you, by the way, for not mentioning Gosford Park. Last time we did this
I
on
don't know
air,
why I threw that
Adam
one
gives
out.
me Gosford Park. I was like, what the hell? The
knew?
superhero guy is throwing
Yeah,
out.
I mean, I could give you Robert Altman's Popeye.
That would be 1980.
Yeah.
God, I saw the crap out of
Popeye
that in the
2000?
theater.
I'm going to keep going with that.
Popeye. How
Miami.
great was Popeye?
Popeye Miami. All right.
Did everyone enjoy Popeye as a
Oh,
kid? I just want to
absolutely.
go around the room
No.
real quick.
Loved
I
it.
didn't
It's
see
great, right?
Loved it.
No.
Oh, Karen, you would have loved it.
As a
I
kid,
did
you
not, because I wasn't expecting it
Too
to be a
weird.
musical. I wasn't expecting it
I
to be a
wasn't
musical.
going to the movies yet. So. I don't know.
I thought it was amazing.
So.
Now, Steve, I learned something, though, playing that wacky game with you because Die Hard seems like a big summer movie, but when did it come out?
Well, Die Hard did come out in the summer.
It did?
Yeah, it came out in the summer of '88. But
Oh, I
it
thought it
takes
came out-
place at Christmas.
Well, yes. I thought it came out in September.
Something to lead the way.
Oh,
No,
I didn't learn anything.
You-
Here I
no,
thought I
you
learned
learned-
something.
when did I lead you to believe that?
I don't know. Maybe it was somebody else. Someone without superpowers.
Probably.
An evil, because they're
They
being
had
evil.
superpowers.
Every one of you, there's one with evil powers.
Oh,
who
the
trying
Bizarro
to-
Steve.
The Bizarro Steve. Anti-Steve is out there trying to fill
Bunch
my
of
head with
misinformation.
Exactly.
That's Adam Scott, actually, because they posed the same thing to him on Conan. Because apparently he has the same superpower I do.
Oh,
But
no
except
kidding.
he completely failed when asked to
Except,
do it.
yeah, he apparently
He's
fizzed
doing
out.
better now.
Huh?
Yeah.
Did he get Gosford Park?
No, he didn't get Gosford Park.
Do you know
Still- I still
Running
don't know
Man?
when that was released.
What year did Running Man come out?
87.
Running Man 2000? I'm just going to keep
99.
99.
I think everything 2000 came out like 2 or 3 years
Yeah.
before 2000. Like Blues Brothers 2000, which we'll mention briefly here, and then we'll go back to forgetting it entirely. I think that came out in 98.
See, here's the thing about Blues Brothers 2000.
What?
Oh, God, I
What
said
movie?
it. But the thing is, it's amazing.
That is no other movies like that for you, Adam. This is just like
No.
such a sore spot for you.
But it was been so easy to erase. It's like what I said
Oh,
about.
well, yeah.
I'll use another film as an example. Chariots of Fire. Did I have this discussion yet on
We
our
have.
podcast here?
I think so.
Okay.
We've had it enough in person because we both have anger towards that movie, and rightfully so.
It's just because it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Nobody references it. It's not shown
Oh,
anywhere.
you know what? I know
the music gets played all the
I know
time.
when we
The
talked
music,
about
that's
that.
it.
We talked about that on the red carpet setup down at the Oscars, and then on the Oscars, Jamie Foxx did a joke where he pretended to be jogging in slow motion to the Chariots of Fire theme, but he
Yeah.
won't tell you what the plot's about, and he can't. I bet you.
Well, was
That's
he
the
doing
point,
Chariots
right?
of Fire, or was he doing? Was he slow jogging to 10?
No, it was.
That would be Bolero, I guess.
Yeah. So let's talk about these lists now. This is how it started.
We are we are
well,
movie guys
no, I'll
off the
tell you,
air.
It started
as
with
well.
Matt Welton, and
Well, no, it started with you.
Oh, it did. And
Well,
then
yeah,
I kicked off
because
a
It
you
always
had
does.
mentioned
Go ahead.
a couple years ago that you had made a list of your favorite movie for every year since you've been alive. And I never saw the list, but just the fact that I knew that you did that was just so intriguing. And at some point, I decided to do it too. Now, I didn't know we were going to end up sharing them, but we did. And so then we brought Adam into the game, and I guess you guys have been brought into the game now too.
A little bit, yes.
So it's
Just for demonstration purposes.
so it's so basically the gist of it is like the favorite movie of every year. Well, you've done it since you've been alive. I did it since I became a conscious moviegoer, which was about my 6th year. I tried to go back to my birth, but I just have no real, Godfather aside, I have no real feel for anything that came out before I was 6.
Same
know,
here.
so
Star
it
Wars,
just-
and I don't remember much before
I'm just
that.
doing a research at that point, and I just figured.
Yeah, but there's movies that came out those years that I do like now, so it was fun to look at those too.
Yeah,
you know.
well, there just wasn't enough of them for me to justify. So I started with 76, which was the year I saw my first PG movie. So that's the year I feel I became a man, movie cinematically speaking.
You grew.
Yeah, exactly. I was decided.
Taxi
I got
driver.
moved
So
out
I'm
from the
curious
kids.
what movie popped your cherry.
76.
When
You know what, the
Rocky.
first PG movie?
Yeah.
Murder by Death.
Oh.
I felt like such a grown up. I was like, ooh, there's a PG, because that was a big deal when I was a kid. It was like just going to see G movies, which I was perfectly fine with. The Apple Dumpling Gang and the
Chitty
Shaggy
Chitty
Day
Bang
and
Bang.
all that chitty chitty. But yeah, although that was before I was born, actually. That was. But then when I saw PG, I was like, ooh, Mom, you're taking me to this? Wow, okay. I must.
First PG-13 movie?
Star Wars. Oh, no, PG-13? I saw Dreamscape in the theater.
No, do we know which one it was?
That's the very first.
Oh,
right?
yeah,
That was the first, right?
That's the very first.
Yeah.
No,
Yes.
Red Dawn.
Oh. See, I heard that, but
Red Dawn.
It's incorrect.
Jamie's saying that's incorrect.
The first PG-13 movie ever.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's Indiana Jones and the
No,
No,
misnomer.
Now she's
No,
saying
no,
it's Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
no.
For
That
those
is
of you
wrong.
not in
Why
the
they
studio,
created
I'm
it.
That
going
is
to
why
help
they
you with
created
that.
it.
But that is not it.
Yeah,
no.
that is why. But it wasn't PG-13.
I actually think Paul's correct from my experience in
Now
life.
Paul is shooting
Red
Jamie.
Dawn. Yes, I would put
Gun.
money on that. Yeah.
He's just trying to
Jamie
get
is
calm.
ducking behind the council.
They may
While
have
looking it up on her
changed
phone.
the rating to PG-13.
Yeah, I think I do believe it was Gremlins and Indiana Jones
they
that
came out in
prompted
that same summer, and
the
it was
PG
just
to
like, how dare he make a PG movie for kids that's this violent and bloody? And then that's what prompted it.
And they melted faces and blew up a head in the first
I know.
Raiders anyway, and no one gave a shit because it was 1981.
Well,
Who
it
gave
was much more artfully done.
You know what? Back then we
True.
didn't even wear bike helmets, so who cares?
And they used to super not give a shit because Jaws was PG.
Yeah, right?
Good point.
Movies didn't change.
They used to not care at
Uh-oh,
all.
Jamie is reporting from the council.
I bow to you.
Thank you.
She's taking it back.
Red Dawn.
So Red Dawn?
Red
What?
Dawn.
Alrighty, man.
Really?
Know
See,
your
that is,
stuff.
I've heard
I'm
that, but in
surprised by that.
feeling my experience that the first one was Dreamscape, right?
Dreamscape?
I feel it like it was
Or what-
that.
Is that what it was? Yeah.
Is that the
but
one with
maybe I was wrong.
Christopher Walken and
Dennis
Natalie
Not to be
Wood
confused
died?
with Brainscan.
No, it's Brainstorm.
Oh, about
Brainstorm. Not to be
okay.
confused with Brainstorm.
See, this is why I've
That's
got a
some
whole
dumb
thing
movie
against
shit to say that, by the way.
one-word title movies, because you just
Wait a
without
minute, though.
more than one word. you
Is
get mixed up.
Brainstorm where the guy looped an orgasm and then gave himself a heart attack by reliving it over and over again?
No, that's just something you did.
Okay. Is Brainstorm where you can live somebody else's memeries?
I never saw it.
That's Strange
I'll
Days.
admit to have not.
That's what he
Is that
did.
Strange
Yeah.
Days.
Electric Dreams?
No, that's not someone's memories. That's just someone's
Oh.
seeing.
Was it Strange Days or Brainstorm I'm referring to?
What about Time Rider? What is that?
Electric Dreams.
I'm just thinking Strange
think-
Brew at this point.
That was
Space
my
Camp?
favorite comedy
was
of
any of
that
these,
year.
Was any of these Space Camp? All right, I got nothing.
What a way to artfully dodge the actual topic.
I can't wait till we get the guest in here who knows what every movie was rated. I don't know what we're doing.
What year
Let's
did,
get
what
that
year
guy
did
in here.
Space Camp come out?
86. An Aaron Spelling movie.
All right, so with our list, we all have lists, and
Trivia
again,
bot.
Steve and I and Adam,
Trivia
I think, even
bot,
went
is that
back
it? Yeah.
like 40
it out.
years to well before we were born.
I didn't go 40 years.
Yeah,
And-
no, I definitely did not see Mean Streets in 73.
If you did, that would explain a lot.
But let me just shout out some years here, and then we'll all just shout out what our favorite movie of that
Some of
year
these were
was.
tough. There were a couple years where there weren't that many
Yeah, there were
good
sometimes
movies.
I had to do a tie.
I did as well. I have not a lot of ties.
I tried
Then
to
have a
limit that,
three- a
but there
three
were
tie.
some.
And by the way, I would like to say these are favorites, not best. I'm not naming at all what the best movie of
Well,
that year
best
was.
is, I mean, how can you, unless you're like a critic and you literally see every movie that came
'Cause I'm
out,
sure
I can't gauge
The
what
Wolverine
the
was
best
not the best movie of last year, but it was my favorite.
With that in mind,
Are you
1986.
sure, Adam? Are you?
Oh, yes.
1986.
I watched it
What does everybody
15
have?
times.
1986.
Karen?
I have nothing in common.
Oh, that's a
Oh,
good
for
one.
what year?
Lee?
86.
86?
Nothing in
1986,
common.
Ferris
That's,
Bueller's Day Off.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Steve?
I have
Jackie
to say,
Gleason?
that's weird you chose that one because
I saw
that's
that
like
movie a
one of
bunch.
the weakest
That's a
movie
cable movie.
years
Yeah.
ever for me. There was just like so few good movies. Mine is Star Trek IV: The Voyage Home, which is a good movie and I enjoy it, but in a better year, that would not be my number one movie. I just,
Adam?
86? Aliens.
And I got Platoon. So this is a year where we all picked a different movie.
Yeah. Well, that was one of the interesting things about doing the lists is that there's very little overlap in our lists.
Yeah.
And even though I could look at some of your films and go, oh, yeah, I like that one too, but it's not my favorite, you know? And I'm probably mine as well, you know? But we both chose broadcast news in 87.
Yeah, well, yeah. And I appreciate it.
You know, I forgot about Ferris Bueller being one of the ones. I like that too. That was awesome.
It was a good year, 86. Yeah.
Yeah,
I love your shirt. For those of you watching at home.
And I give Nothing in Common as a high point to Gary Marshall's career. You know, plus you got Hanks.
I do have a soft spot for that movie.
Yeah.
It was a good movie.
That was one of those ones that was on cable a lot. Like in just the movies that cable showed a bunch. I watched it every time because it's still Tom Hanks and it's like, and I like Jackie Gleason from the Honeymooners. And stuff,
he's really good in that.
So I've probably seen that movie a bunch.
And one of the first jobs I ever had at a movie theater, Aliens played ad nauseum. I saw that movie a bazillion
I will have to
times.
say this though: Nothing in Common does have the worst tagline ever. It's a comedy and a drama, just like life.
Oh God!
Can you get more pretentious?
That is horrible.
That's awesome.
Were people doing it much then? Like
What?
blatantly, comedy and dramas mashing them up.
I don't know, but just that line.
Life was.
Our movie is like life. So if you like life, you'll like our
And
movie.
we know you do.
We know you do.
Now let's see who strayed from the path here. 2007, No Country for Old Men. That's what I got. Adam?
No, I got that.
Steve?
Before the Devil Knows You're Dead.
Okay, I see.
That is
I don't know if you guys.
We've been down this road before. I am not a Coen Brothers fan.
But
I admire Coen Brothers fans.
That would be
I
the
wish
one
I
to
was
break that
because it
for.
seems like every time a movie comes out, they're in heaven and they love it. But
I am a
just
naked
can't,
Marissa Tomei fan, though.
Is she naked in that movie?
In your movie. What are
Oh.
you talking about?
Oh yeah. Oh. Sorry. Not why it's my number one, but
No, well, no, of course. I haven't seen that.
Doesn't
really.
hurt. Yeah.
Oh, you should. It's a really powerful.
Sidney
movie.
Lumet's last film.
Yeah,
right?
Sidney Lumet's last film, and for a film directed by an 80-year-old dude, it does not seem,
Oh
it
my
seems
God.
like a 25-year-old
He's totally
up-and-comer.
He's totally 70s style Lumet,
Oh,
like
man.
hard boiled. It's fun.
It is, yeah. It's a powerful
Yeah,
movie.
it's like-
and Philip Seymour Hoffman. Philip Seymour Hoffman, Ethan Hawke. They're brothers. What are you doing?
Before the Devil Knows You're Dead.
He said it and I immediately forgot it.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that movie.
Oh, it's good.
Well, it's Philip Seymour Hoffman, Ethan Hawke.
Ethan Hawke.
Is it
Oh,
Philip?
Basically,
that's
if you have
why.
Philip Seymour Hoffman, you're
Well,
already
you're
good.
You're
pretty
halfway
good.
home, yeah. You really are.
Yeah, he was great. 1981, I have my favorite film of all time. No big surprise here. Raiders of the Lost Ark. Adam?
Oh, yeah, Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Steve? Raiders.
Playing around here.
Lee?
I actually do have Raiders. Yes.
Karen?
I have Stripes.
Oh.
Oh, well,
And
that's a very Karen choice.
I did not even see Stripes until probably when I was 21. So
Yeah.
it's not one of those things where I saw it in the theater and I hadn't seen it within 10 years of it coming out. But once I started following Bill Murray, I started going back and revisiting these things. And, oh, it's so great.
That is up there for me. That is
Holds
up
up,
there.
too. Somehow holds up.
I would
Those
have loved to have
Reitman-
seen it in the theater. It must have been amazing.
Yeah, I did. My brother took me.
Oh, that'd be
I
so
was
cool.
very young.
Was it
Yeah,
summer? Was
I
it at
wasn't
least
allowed
released
yet. I wasn't
in the
allowed to
summer?
see rated R movies yet.
Yeah, was it in the
When
summer?
it was released.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, that
It
makes
was,
sense.
yeah.
My brother took me to that and History of the World Part 1.
Oh, that'd be good to see in a theater.
Yeah, which I was surprised because my parents are super conservative. And then 2 years later, they took me to vacation. And then, like 4 years later, I was watching Lethal Weapon in my living room, and my mom came in and was all offended by the F words.
Wow. Beverly Hills Cop was the first rated R movie my mother took me to see that. I begged and pleaded, and I was like, oh, please, I want to see it.
That's an awesome one to get to go see.
Yeah.
Stir Crazy.
Oh, that's an awesome one
The
to get to go
whole-
see.
Was that an R-rated
That's
movie?
such a rated R movie.
The whole family
It's
went
got
and saw
Richard
Stir
Pryor in
Crazy.
it.
That's embarrassing.
Is it
With
really?
Your parents.
I mean, Eddie
What?
Murphy and Richard Pryor, those are the greatest rated R movies. Like mine was The Jerk, which is
Your
fine.
first rated R movie?
But it's not like cool like Eddie Murphy and Richard Pryor as like rated R movies.
Yeah.
Those are cool.
Gene
first
Wilder,
rated R
Richard
movies.
Pryor?
Yeah. Oh my God, that's
Hilarious.
What was that rated R for?
Yeah, it was a lot of language.
Yeah, I mean,
Really?
it's-
I
it's
don't remember.
got some-
Of course, I saw it on TV, so what would I know?
Mine was probably Stripes, but for the full nude shower scene, right? Probably that was what made that
They were
R.
well in the mud wrestling scene.
In the mud
Oh,
wrestling.
yeah.
There's some swearing in it. I know Lara Cat drops an F-bomb or whatever, but it's not horrible swearing.
No,
Yeah.
But
it was,
it's the nudity, I think, to put that one over the top.
Yeah.
You go pantsless, R.
well, do they use the F word? Because that's like even today, I think that's an automatic R.
Truck! Like, yeah, Lara Cat's. Anyway. So that's a good choice.
It
Let's
wasn't
go
a truck; it was an urban assault vehicle.
Exactly. Let's go back another year, 1980.
Oh,
That's a
that
tough
is
one.
a tough year
That is a
because
tough year.
I just want to list some of the movies that were out that year that you could pick.
Please.
Yeah.
Empire Strikes Back,
Mm-hmm.
The Shining,
Mm-hmm.
Airplane, The Elephant Man, Caddyshack, Blues Brothers. That's an insanely good year for movies. Raging Bull, which a lot of people love.
But
you
the
know.
king of all great movies.
Ordinary People, which is
Empire
actually a good
Strikes Back.
movie. You know, I mean, that is an insane good year for movies.
So I went with Blues Brothers. Adam?
Did The Empire Strikes Back not come out that year?
It did.
Okay, yeah, then The Empire Strikes Back.
Empire Strikes Back for me, too. But one of the things I loved about seeing Empire Strikes Back that summer, and I saw it like 3 times in the theater, was before every showing, they played a preview of the Blues Brothers, which was rated R, and I couldn't see it. So that was like the double shot of the fun of going to see Empire, was seeing the Blues Brothers preview.
Lee?
I went with Airplane. It was tough between that and Caddyshack, but I just have such... I actually may have seen Airplane pretty close to its actual debut in my life. So I was 9 at the time. And I just have such fond memories of that movie as a kid seeing it.
Well, Adam, I think it's fair to say if anything less than Empire had come out that year, Airplane would have been your number one.
I mean, it's the king of
that's
comedies.
That's your number one comedy, right?
It's the king of comedies. Yeah, it was so great. We did a comedy list. We did a couple sequel lists, which we'll mention, but
spin-offs.
But it was nice that we did a comedy one because then I could give Airplane its due because Empire Strikes Back was definitely not the funniest movie of 1980.
True,
but there's still so many good comedies that year. Even it's hard to. Because you had to slight Caddyshack to do that.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I know, exactly.
Is yours Caddyshack, Karen?
No, mine actually is Blues Brothers. I have a soft spot for men in suits doing music. I love it.
Hubba hubba.
Just saying.
And I think you would agree if there were no caddies, and I've brought this up on the air before too.
Yeah.
That movie's better.
Oh,
yeah. You got to fast forward through that.
Yeah.
Well, it's ironic because that caddy is right.
It was all Shaq. Nothing but Shaq.
Nothing but Shaq in that movie.
If that movie were only Murray, Knight, Dangerfield, and Chase, it'd be Ghostbusters. But
I think it would actually have to be Murray, Aykroyd.
Get out of here!
All right.
So let's where does let's pick some other years here randomly, because I would like to bring up 2006. I don't know how many lists that made. My favorite film was United '93, and this brought up a little debate on about the fact that I never mentioned that movie because. It's tough to bring up in conversations, but I found that
on
film.
This show.
Yeah.
Well, that was, and I picked something, of course, unabashedly pop, Casino Royale. Although people do like that beyond just being a James Bond movie, but I'm choosing the completely enjoyable movie that I enjoy and I've watched 50 times, and so that's what was funny about that year. Is that's why I said in the email I was like, I've never heard you mention United. It's like, but it's not like you quote it like you would Ghostbusters,
right,
you know, like just throwing out some quotes from United '93.
Yeah, I can't quote a damn thing from United '93.
You guys don't quote United '93.
Let's roll. Let's roll. I think that was in there.
Quote stuff and it be an offensive thing.
Exactly.
Well, no, but this is
no,
interesting
I'm kidding,
because
but, you know what I'm saying.
Because
it's just it's not mentioned
with our lists, I noticed with mine, and I think with yours too. We tended to choose movies that were more the dramas, more kind of serious movies. And for me, I wasn't doing it to be like elitist and like, well, you know, comedy's stupid or something like that. But I just when I'm thinking about like what was a really great movie, I tend to think, you know, what movie really impacted me, what emotionally involved me, or what did I really amazed me, or on a technical level or something like that. And comedy, as much as I love, doesn't tend to be that. You know, it tends to be a different type of category. So when I think of like what the best movie of a given year, I don't generally think comedy. But it's not.
Oh, that's too bad because there's so many great comedies that really affect you because they're so true. And things blowing up doesn't affect me as much.
I'll give you that. 2004, I went with Sideways. I mean, that's a hilarious movie that is also very.
Nobody said Little Miss Sunshine. That came out in 2006.
What year was
that? That was in contention
and
for me.
that's really, I mean, it's funny,
yours?
but I mean,
is that yours?
I didn't pick one, but now they just flip through real quick. I would say Little Miss Sunshine.
Yeah,
that is a good one. They won best script, you know, and so
it is compelling.
Awards liked it, people liked it. Yeah, that's a great movie.
Yeah. No,
yeah,
I mean,
I picked all boy movies because I'm a boy. I'm a boy in my tastes.
What would you consider a great movie then? Like The Last Emperor or something like that? Because that's not a comedy, but it's an epic.
Well, it was a good movie. I wouldn't say it was my favorite from that. Yeah, I mean,
because you're just
not
saying
when Broadcast
comedies.
News came out that year.
Well, no, I'm just comedies don't generally emotionally affect me. You know,
really?
Well, yeah, because they're not. You know, a lot of them they're not designed to. Like something like Stripes is entertaining, but it's not. It doesn't like give me.
Okay.
It doesn't.
Because Little Miss Sunshine's comedy. And
No,
that
Little
totally
Miss Sunshine
messes
is an
you up.
example of one that is more like that.
Oh, all right.
As Good as It Gets is another one.
But it also
Exactly.
plays. It also plays. Little Miss Sunshine also plays
I'm just
some
saying,
other games.
tends to be more dramatic stuff that I think of as if we're talking about like the film that stuck out in a given year, you know.
Help me break this tie.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just it's.
cool.
I mean,
At its
I'm
heart,
not
Little
saying
Miss
people
Sunshine
who
is
do are
kind
like,
of
well,
rocky.
that's dumb. It's just that's when I like '84, for example, the year of Ghostbusters. The film that actually really blew my mind was Amadeus.
That is my 1984.
And that wasn't me like being like, you know, oh, hey, I must be serious. I just really loved the hell out of that movie, and it just so profoundly affected me while being massively entertaining too. That is just.
Wait,
the film I
say
think of
84?
from that year.
Did you say
Footloose
84?
didn't do that to you? I mean,
What was
that's a
84
music
again?
movie.
Footloose.
I've yet
Come
to
on.
see it. I've yet to see it.
Shut
or the
up!
remake.
You would love it. Don't see the remake.
Okay.
Footloose is awesome,
Movie
dude.
jail?
Movie jail.
think
Footloose.
seriously?
Here's
What
yeah.
movie?
Really?
It's not a
Footloose.
dance
Oh, yeah?
movie. It's about a coming to. If you would have been the right age to see Footloose when it was in the theater, because it's about somebody
I know,
who's
and I
not
didn't.
Mr. about somebody who's not Mr. Jock, who isn't Mr. Popular, who finds what he is great at and makes a whole group of people see that they can be better than themselves. It's bigger than it is.
Okay, all right. A movie jail, really?
Yeah.
Footloose.
Footloose.
That's
I
that's
think
what
it
the
would've
jury is
spoke to
determining
you.
right now. We're
Oh,
gonna.
wow.
Yeah. I think it
little
would have spoke to you,
surprised,
being that
but,
you're an artistic guy and you have more to offer than just, hey, I'm this, jock. So.
Well,
It's
thank you
true.
for saying. It's sweet of you.
Cut
to say.
Footloose.
Steve, I think that's why we all brought you here. You're not just a
more
jock.
than just
You're not just a jock. You're more than that.
I love how I'm more than. That means baseline. I am a jock. So that's.
All right, but we
I
see,
love how
we,
I
see
am
we go
in this,
deeper.
in this,
Anyway.
We go deeper with
in
you.
this crew.
1997, I have not just a tie, but a three-way tie. Help me break it.
Oh.
Titanic, Boogie Nights, and LA Confidential.
Ooh, a three-way and Boogie
I
Nights
just
in
don't
the
know what
same
to do
sentence.
there. Titanic is this just massive thing that is just so great. Boogie Nights is just my most entertaining movie I've seen maybe ever. LA Confidential is such a well-made movie. It's super impressive and has great dialogue and twists and turns. I don't know.
I will admit I'm in movie jail for that one.
LA
I have
Confidential.
not seen LA
That is
Confidential,
movie
and I know
jail.
I need to see it. I know I need to see it.
And I'm a Milt, so
Yes.
A Man in Love with Titanic.
I will always go. I saw that movie in the theater 3 times. I saw it once with Adam in Chicago.
Yeah. I saw it 3 times too.
In
I saw
the
it twice.
theater.
Yeah, I might have seen it a third time.
Did we see that in Chicago? That's okay. That's a good movie.
I remember getting it, renting it on video, and I love the way the video, because it was, so long. They had 2 tapes,
Yes.
and they literally split it right when the ship starts to sink. It's like, well, I'm watching tape 2,
What's going to happen?
and it was great when I just watched tape 2.
So you just popped
You know
in tape
what?
2?
Not as big a fan of the
Yeah.
love story,
I think
but-
I totally respect that.
Yeah.
I would totally enjoy
So wait,
it.
but
you
but
watched
it was
just?
great. It was great
Yeah, you
because
just
I
start when it
really
starts sinking.
I
Screw that
really
romance.
it-
That's the best way to
I
go.
could really see. I mean, not that I didn't see the first time, but man, when I saw it in the theater, by the time they got to the iceberg, I was like, just sink already. But when I saw it just in isolation, that sinking sequence, that hour or whatever that is just
Shocking.
amazing
Yeah.
filmmaking. That is like, everyone knows that anyway. But
Yeah.
I mean,
But it's often
just-
blown off. That movie's often blown off as being pop, whatever.
I
Because
mean,
it
you
was
want to
so
talk
popular.
about immersing
and it is
you into an environment.
pretty damn masterful.
Damn, that is some great filmmaking.
It is some great filmmaking.
He brought everything, sets, effects, and everything.
Yeah, so you look
blended
at
it.
an accomplishment like the last hour of Titanic as one of the best movies that year.
What's your favorite movie of the year? The last hour of Titanic.
So when you compare that to and you're comparing that to Boogie Nights and LA Confidential,
Yes.
yeah, that's so tough because the Boogie Nights is an accomplishment too, but it's just futzing around in the valley. That's all it is.
Well, I think we can all agree there are some years that are just an embarrassment of riches, and then some years you're scrambling like, man, why wasn't Boogie Nights released this year or whatever like that? Why do I have to choose? I don't know. What did I have to choose in 2000?
Okay, so what did everyone choose for 2002? Because this is the year where I
have a great one for 2002.
What do you have?
Catch Me If You Can.
Oh.
That's another movie I could watch constantly. Love it.
Okay, that is now. So you have a legitimate love of that movie.
I went with
do.
the Academy and went with Chicago.
That is a good movie.
Yeah. Yes, Mr. New to Musicals.
I know. I just watched it.
Didn't Rob Marshall capture the old feel?
That movie nails
like
it.
with what's the song? The Roxy song. It was suddenly all the sets kind of melt away, and you can just do a huge production number to get back to what you need.
He directed the shit out of it.
Well, I love the way that they justify all the songs by making them dream sequences.
Absolutely.
I mean,
and
that's one of the most awkward things about musicals is people just breaking into song. And like, why? But that justified it.
I find that perfectly normal.
Well, now I do too, Karen, because I am now a fan of musicals. And the thing I love about musicals is they all live in a magical world where at any moment someone could just start dancing. Like at any moment, someone could just start dancing. So it's almost like in an action movie where at any moment, someone could get killed. But like in musicals, that's tap dancing.
Now that we brought this up, though, I do want to ask Karen specifically
Yep.
about Chicago, because I had a very unique reaction, very specific reaction to watching that movie.
Yes,
And
I wanted to have sex with Renee Zellweger.
Yes. At the end of that movie, I said, that
this is
seems
new to me.
like... I said
love
to myself,
her. You know that.
That seems like a really
Bridget
good
Jones?
movie, a really great story. I'd like to see it with good singers and dancers. That's what the movie made me feel like. Like, oh, this would have been really good if they hired real singers and dancers. How'd they do,
better
Karen? How'd
with
they do?
real singers and dancers. I think that it's interesting because I think that the women did fine and everything because it is a hard show to dance. I could never do it. But I could do it if I was doing it for 9 hours a day for months to prepare because I think that that's what they did is they took these two people and said, all right, how can we make you be able to do this? And they made them be able to do it. And they did a good job. But I think that the gold mine was finding Riley. What's his name?
John C. Reilly.
John C. Reilly nails his part.
I'm Dr. Steve
And
Brule.
so does the lawyer.
Gear.
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 So those guys, I think, nail it. The chicks are
I have
fine.
to say, I don't enjoy Richard Gere in a lot of things, but I did enjoy him in that. He
great.
was
He
really,
is
he
good
nailed
in
it,
that.
yeah.
So it's much sexier with the stage show that they had touring. It's a lot less going on with sets. It was just a bunch of like scaffolding and stuff. But the women are stupid hot.
Yeah.
I take your point, though, Lee. I mean, it does seem like there maybe could have been, but it's almost like in the movies.
They do that all the time. They do it all the time.
Like those same actors on stage, it probably would have been a dud of a show. But movies, I don't know. You can kind of ride so much more on their charisma and what they're putting out. And like Richard Gere, I can't remember if his singing was great or not, but he was just the right guy.
He was
for that
really
role.
great. You know, Katie Huffman did the producers on Broadway, and she originated the role of Uma, and she was great and won a Tony and everything. And I worked with her, and I didn't have the balls to ask her because I didn't want to be that guy. But I wanted to know how much it pissed her off that she didn't get to do the movie, because I think Uma single-handedly sucked in that movie. I don't think she
as Ula
was just awful. And she couldn't sing it, and she couldn't dance it.
I don't remember.
And I can't remember. But the girl, Katie Huffman, was able to do it not only every single night, but she made this character up.
Was she the one that was in the Curb Your Enthusiasm when Larry David goes on?
Yes.
She was great.
And she's great.
Yeah,
and that's one of those instances where I understand star power. I totally get it. But there's some people, Patti LuPone, who should do their movie. She needed to be Evita, not Madonna. And I think that same with
Travolta
her.
and Hairspray.
But I don't think
Katie
they feel like they've made a movie out of it unless they've cast someone who can't sing.
You
know, I don't they're like, I don't know if we've really made it movie-ish.
It goes all the way back
Otherwise,
to,
we're just shooting the play.
It's been going on for years and sinking voices in.
Goes all the way back to My Fair Lady.
Oh, yeah. She didn't do the
Audrey
singing.
Hepburn is great, but she is not that character. Should have been Julie Andrews.
It should have.
God, you're right. She is.
They've been doing that for years.
And she wasn't, right? She was dubbed in.
Oh, yeah, they gave another singing voice, yeah.
Wait, who was dubbed?
Audrey Hepburn.
Audrey Hepburn.
She was?
There's a famous
Not when
line
she-
in
not when she
Nonsense
talked.
about
Betrayed.
it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Not when she talked. That was her voice when she talked.
It's a shame,
Sorry,
but that's
very
what's
recently
going on.
betrayed, by the way.
Really.
We went and saw the Muppets, and they did that sequence from the chorus line, and I leaned over to Paul and I go, I freshly get this joke. They did the song, I need this job, and I'm like, I get this joke from about 48 hours earlier because I've just seen chorus line.
Topical
Anyone
humor.
who's musical theater, as soon as they hear the breath in, it goes, a five. You're like, oh my God, chorus line. What? And then they do the step, kick, leap, kick, touch. Again, word for word.
I want to post all these top 10 lists on, or at least, or however many we have. Top
By the way,
40?
The only reason I brought
2002, by the way, I just wanted to get in because my selection is the Christopher Nolan movie no one remembers, Insomnia.
Oh, I saw that.
But a very good movie.
Great movie. Great movie.
On further review, still a good movie, and
you did
it
see
really
that
holds up.
recently?
On further review, still
I
don't
saw
remember it.
with you, but not the whole thing. Huh?
I still don't remember it.
Really?
I saw it. Yeah.
Al Pacino?
Did that one have Al Pacino's hair in it? It's because I remember seeing that movie, and his toupee threw me out of every scene.
He had a two-head.
Oh my gosh!
Al Pacino has a way of throwing you out of every scene, no matter what he's in. But that's how good the material was. It still outlasted his ability.
He had like a picket fence of hair right across the front that was just, it was deplorable.
He does though.
It was
if you ever
not
see him like
casual
anywhere. That's how his hair looks, man. He's going for that freshly woken up look, 24 hours a day.
He has to order it now, right?
That movie that year was about Schmidt, who has that wonderful woman June Squibb in it, right?
Mm-hmm. June is in that.
She was in that. She's the little old lady who
She's a
dies
slave.
right at the top. Isn't that amazing?
I didn't realize that. Wow.
Yeah.
Must
Alexander
be loved
Payne
by
loves
Alexander Payne because she was back
she
in Nebraska
was,
this
and
year.
they brought her back, and
it's
she's
funny
amazing.
because I saw Nebraska and I was like, I've never seen that woman anywhere unless unless she was Jack Nicholson's wife in About Schmidt. But I mean, that can't be right. That was like 12 years ago.
How wonderful was it finally in a movie to have a man who's in his 60s retiring married to the woman he'd be married to?
Exactly.
And it's Nicholson.
And it's Nicholson.
It's just crazy.
Yeah,
that was amazing.
That was such a great movie for Nicholson because it was so not Nicholson. You know, it was Schmidt.
Yeah.
He was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's in my top 5 that year for sure. But every Alexander Payne movie is if you've listened.
Mine
to the
was
show.
Attack of the Clones. Moving on.
Yes, please.
Yes, let's. Anyway, I want to post all these online, or as much as we can get out of everybody. Maybe not everyone's top 40, but Steve, real quick, give me your top 10 movies of all time.
Okay. And I'm going to give them to you alphabetically because I firmly believe once you've made my top 10 list, I'm not going to make you jockey for position. So,
nice of you.
Alphabetically.
Oh,
yeah? Yeah, because I'm not going to rank these.
Yeah.
They're in my top 10.
Oh yeah, okay.
You know.
I like that because that you're giving them a title. You're not giving them a ranking. They're my top 10 movies.
Yeah.
It now has the moniker
I don't
of
want
that.
these boys fighting.
Yeah.
You know, I like them all.
Steve, AFI, they do the same.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
I can't believe you can alphabetize in your head, but go ahead.
well, I have some time to prepare.
Did I tell you we went over this on the internet quite a lot,
right. I'm like,
like ad nauseum.
impressive.
I was thinking the same thing.
Okay, so Amadeus, Apocalypse Now, Dr. Strangelove, Empire Strikes Back, The Godfather, The Graduate, Groundhog Day,
All right, there we go.
It's a Wonderful Life,
You have a list.
Shawshank Redemption, 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Wow.
He's right.
Two
He
out
is
of 10
right
isn't bad.
on every one of those. It was alphabetical.
And I think I may have printed it for you. It still went on. It still didn't look at
There's
it.
a lot.
Two out of 10.
There's a lot of quality.
Nailed it.
Yeah,
in
I
that
know what
top
every
10 list.
every year those were released. So.
I still have a 10. I need to do that sometime. I can go as far as 3 because it's Raiders, No Country for Old Men, Broadcast News,
Ghostbusters.
and then I don't know. And I got like,
What?
any number of movie could go in.
Well,
there.
it's tough, and I have to
And
say,
I'm going
each one
numerically,
of those,
too, so.
each one of those movies too has like a. I mean, these are my favorite. I'm not making a claim these are the 10 best movies of all time. I'm just saying these were the ones that affected me the most, and a lot of it, has to do with when I saw them, what the significance was. I could probably tell a story.
But those
about each one
memories
of
come back when you see them.
Exactly.
That's the great thing about it.
Yeah, it's there's certain movies that were significant to you, and then you see them years later. It's like, well, it didn't quite hold up, but those always do, and
Yeah, I'm sure Pulp Fiction's in there for me. Star Wars, Godfather, Ghostbusters.
Amadeus
right
was
thing.
just significant because it was the first like grown-up movie that I got as excited about as like Raiders and Star Wars, and I was just
What
sort
movie?
of like Amadeus.
Oh,
It was like, because when you're a kid, you're like, there's the films I really want to see, and then there's all that grown-up shit, and there's my first introduction of, hey, maybe some of that grown-up shit is actually
So it's like
pretty
smoking a cigarette.
good. Yeah.
Awesome.
All right, well,
Amadeus
let's,
was my first blowjob.
let's stop talking about the greatest movies of all time and instead talk about.
What did you see this week?
So I ask you, what did you see this week? I'll lead because Adam and
two
I
of
went
us
to see
saw a movie.
Noah.
Noah.
No way.
One of the strangest movies I've seen in a long time.
He's
Weird.
Animal Man.
Yeah, it's just weird. I can't explain it to you, right?
I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah, it's a spoiler.
But it's just
that intrigues me.
He
It
does
intrigues the hell out of me.
He does whatever the hell he wants with the story of Noah, and I just think it's so enjoyable rather than just see this very straightforward telling of it. But it
so it's not the storybook version that you get in Sunday school with the pictures.
It's not going to pop up.
No, it's not going to pop up. But let's just say, knowing the Bible as we do, why the hell not? Anything in this movie, okay? Right?
He made up.
Why not?
Creatures and minerals and things that just you don't think exist, but talking snake, giant flood. Fuck, why not?
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's the subtitle of the Bible, isn't it?
Do you think religious people?
Because why not?
Have you heard any backlash from religious people?
I don't know how
Does
they
Glenn
could.
Beck count?
I don't know how they could.
Oh.
No,
Well,
no, that's
very
just the
religious.
one that gets reported because people want to say that somebody's against something.
Yeah.
There's like someone to be against everything, right? So, you just
So I know the thing you're talking about, so I'm not going to say what it is, but you mean religious people are okay with that?
I haven't heard from him, to be honest with you.
Well, it's like a made-up Bible tale in a weird way. He just does
Whoa.
whatever he wants with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who's going to say he's wrong?
That's true.
We have yet
It
to
is a
recover.
book.
We have yet to recover the GoPro from the Ark, so we don't know what actually happened.
Wow.
I'm intrigued. That movie intrigues me. It intrigues me whenever, especially a big budget movie comes out, that's just whatever the fuck.
Well,
it is.
The trailer
whatever the
gives
fuck.
you no idea, though, that he's going to just go off the rails story-wise and make up all sorts of crazy stuff.
But it's Darren Aronofsky. I mean,
That
what are the
should
odds
give
that he
you a
would?
hint.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. When I saw it advertised Noah, this big biblical epic, I remember thinking, oh, this is. Then when I saw Darren Aronofsky's name, I was like, oh, well, this could be interesting because those are two great tastes that don't necessarily go great together.
He was on the Colbert Report, and he said, Colbert, of course, always a right wing, was grilling him like, listen, I hear you took some liberties with this. And he said, as soon as you cast Russell Crowe, you're into artistic liberties space right away.
I thought that
Russell
all this
Crowe-
talk gave him a headache. I looked at him and his head was like rolling. But it's just the talk of Noah.
No, I was trying to think.
Oh, I saw
That's
a
my
look on his
thinking.
face. And then I'm like, are we
Looks very
giving
much
you
like a headache face.
Yeah.
Should we call a doctor, or is Lee thinking?
The result is
Lee's
the same.
thinking.
Pain.
Just like pain.
Might explain a lot.
No, I was trying to remember what TBS movie I watched this weekend.
Oh, Jesus.
Is it always TBS?
But I did see.
It is.
I did
It's
watch
the TBS report.
TBS movie review.
He does TPS reports by the weekend.
I saw my second favorite movie again, Jack Reacher. Watched it again.
Was it on regular TV, or did you put your copy in?
No, I actually
accidentally
was
went
with a
in my
friend and we watched it on Netflix. I got to watch it with
It's
somebody who
on
had not
Netflix.
seen it before.
Oh, that's
Can
fun.
I
That's
just
fun.
can I tangent real quick? So we're sitting there trying to come up with a movie to watch, and I named like 15 movies. Netflix has got dick, man.
Netflix has got dick. I agree.
No, they're very
you
good
are
for-
right.
They're very good for flipping
Dan
and
Hedaya
finding
movie
weird
from
things, but
1999?
they're not good for
No.
finding anything specific.
You cannot look up anything you want to see.
Rushmore wasn't on there.
Nope.
No, Karen.
No. It's
give
got
up.
whatever it's got.
If you listen to
yeah.
the show, you know Karen's always writing lists, adding to the list. Last week she added, I
Yeah.
got to see It's
Oh,
a
I
Wonderful
wanted
Life.
to see Frisco Kid.
Yeah, you got to go to
No.
disc rental for Netflix
right?
to get that.
Yeah, the thing
I
that I've
might
noticed
have
about
to. You gotta go to
Netflix
disc
is, if
rental.
you go in with a specific title,
No.
you can often be disappointed. But what happens to me is you go down the rabbit hole of suggested watches, and then a lot of times what's on are like, oh, well, I didn't think I wanted to see that movie, but yeah, I kind of always wanted to see.
Yeah,
that.
it's like
So-
channel flipping is really what Netflix
Yeah.
is about. But to get anything specific, you got to
have to
get the
pay for it.
discs.
Yeah. Unless
I-
you just luck into something.
But think of how few movies you rent. Remember, you used to go to the rental store all the time. So I just started getting discs again. You can get like 2 a month for $6 or
I
something.
might have to do that. The thing that you guys brought up, the Netflix going down the rabbit hole. So I wanted to see Frisco Kid, and
That's a great movie.
I couldn't see that. So
With Harrison
instead-
Ford and Gene
Sentimental,
Wilder.
Right?
Yeah. Actually, it's not a great movie, but it's
But
such
it's
a
lovely
sentimental
and
favorite
lovable.
of mine.
I've only seen little clips from it, and I saw the clip where he thinks he's seeing other Jews and they're Amish. I'm like, I need to see more.
How great,
of that.
how great is Harrison Ford as a cowboy, too?
And then he helps him fish.
Oh, my God. I love when
All right. But the thing that happened
She hasn't
was,
seen it, Steve.
I haven't seen it. I've only seen those 2 scenes.
Oh.
And I was sold. But I did go down the wormhole, and I saw Lost in Translation because I saw Bill Murray, and I said, well, fuck you, Netflix. I'm going to watch Bill Murray. God, I love that movie.
Yeah, you'd seen it, right? I mean,
I saw it once in the theater, and I loved it. And then I didn't see it again. And then I saw it the other day, and it's just so great. He's
It's
so
really
great.
good.
I took one
I'm
of those.
surprised you only saw that once.
I know. I don't know. I took one of those quizzes online. You know, the ones that Paul things are bogus and stupid, where you figure out what Bill Murray character you are. And I was intrigued because I wanted to be Peter Venkman, which I was clearly not. But I was Bob Harris from Lost in Translation.
Aww.
So I watched it again. I went, yes, he is a depressed man who has a shitty career. It really resonated with me, and I just wish I could find a girl in her panties to talk to and hang out with.
Booth. Yeah.
And yeah,
Wow.
so it was
Paul,
good.
what is the one that you put on the movie guys on the Facebook page?
Oh,
that
what?
Said which?
Yeah, he keeps
What
doing
actor who played Gordon Gekko are you?
You're.
And didn't you
I'm gonna
do
do one of those every
Meryl
week till-
Streep too?
Yep. Which actress who
great.
played Karen Silkwood are you?
How about which Meryl
Meryl
Streep
Streep.
accent are you?
Which and then it was which actor who played Captain Jack Sparrow are you?
And were you Johnny Depp?
And which actor who played Martin Riggs are you? That's it.
Were you Johnny Depp?
I was Johnny Depp.
Good
I
for
got
you.
Johnny
Mel
Depp.
Gibson.
Sweet.
Wow, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Which actor who played Martin Riggs are you? I'm Mel Gibson.
Oh, and just real quick before we get to birthdays, I want to say that it's not a movie, but I finished Breaking Bad.
Right?
It is a movie.
It's a movie.
It's an epic,
That show is
gigantic
so crazy
movie.
good.
It makes my heart feel so good thinking about that show.
I get sad that when we come home from being out, and
better
then
than most
usually
movies.
we'd watch it before we went to bed, and now it's not happening.
I guess
I want to.
It's time for Sherlock.
It not being a movie, I don't have to be in movie jail for that one. Huh?
No.
It's
Right,
so
Jamie
good.
Clark
You would love it.
Yelvington.
Yeah, maybe
It's
I
time
can
for
move.
Sherlock.
Maybe move over.
Thank you, Jamie Clark Yelvington.
That's the one good
It is
thing.
time for Sherlock.
When I go to Netflix, I can
Those are
find
movies.
TV shows. Like I can find the TV shows that I want to watch. But.
They have net TV.
Yep.
Oh, I was just getting one quick thing about
Yes.
films we watched this week, keeping the nautical theme. I finally got to see All Is Lost.
What about
with
Bob?
Robert
What?
Redford.
Oh.
Robert Redford.
Robert
You guys saw that,
Redford,
didn't
A
you?
Boat and Water.
Let me
That's
hear
it.
I mean, I had to
I'm
see
intrigued.
that movie. That is, yeah, you got to see it.
What'd
you think?
It's just a filmmaker gives himself no out but to be anything but interesting.
Oh,
And
right.
It
Let me
nails it.
bring this question to you, Stephen, because this is just a logistics thing. When I saw that movie.
Uh-oh.
Hated it.
Uh-oh.
All right,
gonna get
so
ugly.
Sounds like you loved it.
the only reason I didn't like
Let
it
me
is
guess.
because it was a guy. Well, here's the reasons you loved it. It was a boat in the ocean, and you had that dude, and you had to be interesting. But okay, he knows
That is the challenge of
he's-
most movies, and you got to be
And
interesting.
you gotta be
throw
interesting.
that at
Gotta be
the end of a
interesting.
lot of.
It's just a technical thing.
You got
he
Travolta and
knows that
Jackson.
a
Their
storm
options.
is
You got to be
coming.
interesting.
He knows that a storm is coming, so he has some things he has to do. Like any good sailor, you have to go and you have to fix that hole, right? You got to do that.
I don't know. I'm not a sailor.
Well, I would think that'd be a good
You got
thing
a
to do if you're in
lanyard,
a
the lanyard?
boat. And then you have sails you could deal with,
Carabiner.
or because the storm is coming, he knows it's coming, and he has that sail thing. But he's like, you know what? Shaving.
Is this the beginning of the movie?
No, this is like half an hour into it. Big bad things are going to happen, but you know what we do? We shave. Now, here's the thing. It's not like
He is Redford.
He is okay. The storm is coming and everything's wiggling. The man's shaving and cutting himself. How about we fix that sail that he tried to fix after he was done shaving? Last
Storm
time, storm has hit. Now he's falling off.
I'm
Less
sensing
shaving.
a flaw in the movie.
Karen has
Shaving.
changed my mind about this. Don't go see it. It's a waste
Just
of time.
shave in the later part. Or
It's right there in the title.
Don't
folks. All is
shave.
lost.
All is lost.
Anyway, this picky. Okay.
All right, well, let's get on to Karen's big finale. Karen's taking the mic. Let's give it to her.
Oh, God.
It's Karen's
You
birthdays.
dropped the mic. Now pick it back up and do the birthdays.
Where Karen
other part of the
celebrates the
movie.
birthdays of those who make the movies.
Drop the
Karen?
mic.
Let's start off our birthday week by wishing a happy birthday to Mr. Never Nude himself, David Cross, who turns 50,
Oy.
but can play anywhere from clueless to unaware. We all know David from Arrested Development and Mr. Show, but did you know he has done a ton of voiceovers for animated movies? He was in Megamind, Kung Fu Panda, Small Soldiers, but do you remember that he did a voice in 2012 of one of the characters in Alvin and the Chipmunks, Chipwrecked? Did anyone know that happened?
Feel like I
I
heard.
think we
about
made a
that.
joke about it.
I think we
Yes.
did.
Thought for a
And
second their
so-
butt was
well,
a
I
movie.
think.
I was looking at the IMDb and I just had to read you this quote because it says everything we've always suspected. About doing Alvin and the Chipmunks, Chipwrecked, he says, and this is in IMDb where anyone can read it, he does not care. He says, all I wanted was to get the fuck out of there as soon as possible. They encouraged me to improvise and come up with funnier lines if I wanted to. But my entire strategy in those movies was to come in on time, shoot as much as I could as quickly as I could, and then get the hell out of there so I could buy a summer home with the check.
Wow.
And IMDb. Everyone who worked in this movie knows he said that.
Mad respect, David Cross.
Wow.
I love David Cross even more now. Next up, let's wish a happy birthday to everyone's favorite brother, David Hyde-Pierce, who turns 55, but can play anywhere from Slim in A Bug's Life to the recently released Mr. Peabody.
He wasn't Mr. Peabody.
Wow, what happened?
He was?
Isn't that sad? He should have been
he
Mr.
should've.
Peabody.
I don't see him much anymore.
Yeah.
Shouldn't he have been the voice of Mr. Peabody?
He should have been the... Yeah. I love that other guy. He's great in the Muppet movie, but I don't know.
He was so good on that show.
Oh, so good. He was one of the only actors ever to be nominated for an Emmy every year the movie show was on TV.
Wow.
He didn't win every year, but he was
and you have to be
nominated.
cast as Kelsey Grammer's brother.
Which is why he got the audition. They were looking for people that looked like Kelsey Grammer. He walked in and they said, "We love your look," and they wrote the character around him. Isn't that amazing? It helps to look like Kelsey Grammer once in a while.
And sound like him.
Once in a while. Once in a
Once in
great
a
while.
Here's something Netflix is good for
Yep.
is I watched, when I'm working in the office and I just want something on in the background, I'll put on the TV and turn on Cheers. And so I watched all 230 whatever episodes of Cheers, just sort of in the background. I don't need to be paying attention. I've seen them, most of them anyway. And now I'm on to Frasier, so I'm about 3 seasons into that. And it's just that. I mean, that show might be better, and I have a fierce love of Cheers, but the more I see like the humanity they inject into Frasier, I really enjoy it, because Cheers was so cold, and I loved the coldness of it. Everyone in there is shallow as hell, and it's just great. But now I'm really warming up to the humanity that was in Frasier.
It is a very different show.
Yeah.
And I
both
think
great, both brilliant.
Does he have the record for playing the longest character for the longest length of time on television? Because that was like Cheers
How long
went
did the
11
honeymoon?
years. He went 10,
5
right?
episodes.
It's like 21 years of playing. Well, he
like
came
that.
in the third year, so like 19 years.
I have a fun little
Jamie's on her
game for you
phone.
guys. I think that this will be great. Just feel free to yell
That's
out.
a lot of syndication money.
Yeah, right.
We all know that David Hyde-Pierce did a lot of television, but he did a ton of movies. You will not even believe how many.
He was in one of my favorites, Nixon.
Oh, yeah.
Played John Dean.
He's been in so many small parts. So I'm going to give you a list of 4 movies.
Or Noxon if you
And
turn
you
the box
tell
upside
me-
down.
I'm going to give you a list of 4 movies, and you tell me which one he was not in. Okay?
Okay.
The Fisher King, Addams Family Values, Splash, or The Terminator.
Wow.
Yeah.
He goes back that far,
It's
huh?
amazing how far back he goes.
He was not in the Terminator.
You'd think, right?
David Hyde-Pierce is in the Terminator?
He's in the Terminator as like a driver of some truck. Isn't that amazing? I think
Splash?
that's the one he's not in.
Wow.
That's the one I threw in there to be wacky, though
Well,
it
I
seems
would
like he
think
would
he'd
be.
be in Splash
right?
of all things.
Let's try these ones. All right, here's 4 more. Sleepless in Seattle, Searching for Bobby Fischer, Little Man Tate, or Hellboy.
He's not in Little Man Tate.
Little Man Tate.
He's in Little Man Tate.
He's in Little Man Tate.
I don't think he's
know.
in Searching for Bobby Fischer. 'Cause
Right.
There
You'd
are only
think he
5
would
people in
be in
that. But there's
Searching
only
for
5
Bobby
people in that
Fischer.
movie.
Of course, now
You
we know
would
he's
think
in.
so.
Yeah.
But he's in Hellboy.
He's one of the voices in Hellboy. I
Yeah,
know.
and
Yes.
he didn't take a credit for it because he felt that the actor should have gotten the credit, so he's uncredited.
And that's the actor that did the body of Silver Surfer and all
Doug
I
Jones.
Doug
think
Jones.
that's very cool. So, and lastly, we'll wish a happy birthday to everyone's favorite superhero, Robert Downey Jr.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yes, who turns 49.
Without whom we might not have all these
I
wonderful
know, he's
things.
doing great. I know. Actually, that's a good point.
I know, yeah.
He can
You gotta
play
think.
anywhere from a
RDJ.
silent movie star to black. Sure. I don't know how I missed the boat on him. I really didn't know much about that whole early career. I didn't know about his drug abuse. I learned about it when I was doing this research. And I really started to pay attention to him with his resurgence when he did Tropic Thunder. And I was like, who is this fantastically awesome guy? And everybody's like, oh, he's a druggie. But I didn't really know about that. And then he went and he started to star in these Iron Man movies, which blows my mind because he's absolutely amazing.
But he's such a talent.
Well, he was always a good actor.
Always a talent.
but
Always
just
great,
didn't-
right?
But until Iron Man, I literally think he didn't have the starring role in any
No.
movie. He was always
Chaplin, I
I was
guess.
gonna say Chaplin was the one that made him.
maybe. And I don't know if it was just because that was his sort of worst Hollywood saw him, or if it was his drug problems. They didn't want to give him the big roles that might
Well,
sink
when-
the movie if he had to be out of it or
When
something
he
like that.
got out of prison, Russell Crowe, I believe, was the first person to put him in a movie, even though he didn't pass the insurance tests. they weren't going to insure him, and so Russell Crowe put him in the movie
Was
anyway.
it Russell Crowe or Mel Gibson? I
Mel
heard Mel
Gibson.
Gibson was
That's
the
who
guy.
it is. Mel Gibson.
Because then
Yeah.
he really
I'm
came
sorry.
to Mel
Yeah.
Gibson's defense when he was going through
Yes,
all
yes,
these
he did.
problems that are never ending, I guess.
But here's something kind of fun, another quick little game. Can you guess, because Downey has done films with all three of these actors who's played Batman. Can you guess which Batman he's actually worked with? Which Batmen, I should say, he's worked with?
Oh, I know one. But
Okay,
I know,
which
I
one
would.
do you
I know
think?
one too, yeah. I would.
Oh, wait, which one has he or which one hasn't he?
Has he? He's worked with three Batmen.
Well, he worked with Val Kilmer in
Yes.
Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Yep.
He worked with... Did he work
We
with
worked with
George
Clooney in Good Night and Good Luck.
Good Night and Good Luck, yeah.
And who else?
Well,
It's one more.
Was he with Keaton and anything?
Keaton?
Or Christian Bale?
Christian Bale.
Those are your options, right?
Adam
or
West.
Adam West.
Or Adam West.
I don't think I've ever heard any of you say the name of this movie, so you might not get it. He was with Michael Keaton in Game 6 in 2005.
Oh, yeah, the Red Sox movie.
I heard of Game 6. I didn't know he was in it.
Yeah, neither did I.
Yes.
He made a lot of movies. before.
His
And now,
amazing list.
and now he just makes franchise movies. You realize that?
And
He's played Iron Man and Sherlock Holmes in the last 6 years, and that's
said-
it.
Yeah, well, he did Due Date.
Yes, he did.
That's
do
the
that.
one.
That's
That's
another
the
one
one.
that I think I put that in the Blues Brothers 2005.
And the other thing that
What
I
year
thought
did
was
Blues
cool.
Brothers 2000 come out?
98.
The other thing I thought was cool about him is he says that when he
Perfect answer.
he says that when he did the Iron Man movie, he says that when he did the Iron Man movies, he took Iron Man 2 the most serious because nobody does a good sequel. And so he was like, well, I don't want to
neither
fuck
did
this
he.
up.
Nailed it.
And he nailed it. So lastly, Lee,
Yes.
you know how much I love when celebrities sing.
I do. People ask
Yes.
me.
Do you have Robert Downey Jr. singing?
People ask me two things about Karen. They say, "Tell me
Yes.
two things about
Yes.
Karen." And I say, first of all, she's never eaten a grape.
No,
And
I'm
two,
afraid of skin.
she loves to hear celebrities sing.
I do love the celebrity singing, and I am particularly fond of this one. I learned about this months ago. I wrote myself a note, and I said when Robert Downey Jr. has a birthday, he has to sing the duet that he sang with Sting, which is Driven to Tears, and it's not funny. It's awesome.
Oh,
And you can't even tell which one is which.
Whoa.
It's so
Does
good.
not sound like a Sting song.
Oh, it's so good.
Wow.
It'll take a second to get into it, but
Sure.
he's
Seriously,
so
never
We
good.
can
eaten a
talk
grape?
it up.
I do.
Well, while we wait for that,
While
can I
we-
say one thing about
Yeah,
your
while we're
birthdays?
doing
Yes.
Fuck you, David Cross. Give
I know.
that role to somebody who would freaking enjoy going
such
to
a
work
shit.
and making money. And God, I
Oh,
find
He's
him
such a
funny.
shit. At some point, I stopped liking him.
I'm
He's
with
such
yes.
a shit.
Is he
He's got-
really?
yes, I like
No, I
his
mean, I
humor.
like him in Arrested Development, but like as a stand-up and stuff, I'm just like at some point I'm like, shut up. He just got really.
Maybe
like,
it helps not to know too much about
Yeah,
a person
I
off
think
stage.
it might
Well, then
be.
don't do birthdays. I learn a lot.
Really? Who have you been most disillusioned by?
I actually fell in love with Keanu Reeves the opposite way.
Yeah, that happened for all.
Really?
I'm sorry, who?
Cool Breeze
Cool
Reeves.
Breeze
Thank you.
Reeves.
We
If
learned,
I don't like the person, I don't do their birthday.
Oh, really? Okay.
we learned that's what Keanu means.
He's your great
Oh,
guy.
Cool Breeze.
Cool
Let's
breeze.
doing some singing. Let's hear.
This is not Sting.
That's Sting. That's Donnie Jr.?
How long do you think he went around just going, Look, you gave me a lead, and I got an Oscar nomination for Chaplin. Now nothing but support. I mean, I know I've got this thing going on with my
Yeah,
personal
you're
life, but
Here
one
they are
lead,
s-
one
wait.
Oscar nomination. I got a good track record going. Give me another lead.
Yeah.
Here's
Oh
where
my
they
God.
sing together. Listen. He's so close. That's Robert Downey Jr.
Wow.
Wow, he's a good mimic then, too.
Hey, and that wraps another Showcast, everybody. Follow us on Twitter at The Movie Guys, on Facebook at facebook.com/TheMovieGuys, as well as YouTube, iTunes, SoundCloud, Vine, Instagram, LinkedIn, all that shit. Thanks to Stephen Lewis.
Yay!
Mr. Lists.
He's got movie reviews scattered all over the MovieGuys.net archives. Go check them out. Thanks also to Jamie
Cruisin'.
Clark
What year?
Yelvington on the boards. And, of course, Steve Schultz for his writing
1980.
contributions to the show every week. And remember, you can always find everything we're up to at themovieguys.net. Thanks for
French
listening, and we'll
Connection
see
2.
you at the Phoenix Film
1975.
Festival this weekend. Goodbye.
Some people hear that.
What happened to Robert Downey Jr.?
Show ends, and then you get the stinger.
The stinger.
Movie guys!